Jillian Michaels on the psyop of healthy at any size. I just want to point out that Joe Rogan is stealing my lingo. Here at Third Eye Global, we're ahead of the curve.
The Joe Rogan experience.
And then I still feel the need to play the lesser evil game, even when they're right. They're still wrong, because when I weigh out, the choices I had, even though you're right on this issue.
I'm into 350-pound girls. Over 200, I start referring to them as women.
I'm right about my choice ultimately because more things went the way I wanted them to.
Joe Rogan can't end this stream because we're over on Twitch, twitch.tv/Philion TV. Don't apologize for coming late to the stream because you're early to the movement. Never forget that. It's one of the main reasons why I'm over on Twitch. Because I'm a based shark in an ocean full of soy guppies.
Than the way I didn't. It takes a lot of ego strength to admit where you're wrong, and I just don't think a lot of people have that. And there is a tribalism with everything, whether it's workout trends, diets, for God's sake. I mean, we've seen this kind of dogma in health and wellness for years. It's no fun to say you were wrong, and in some cases it can have professional repercussions for people.
Sure. Did you experience any professional repercussions when you're pushing back against this healthy at any size stuff? Because that's...
How much time do you have on that one?
Well, let's go in it, because that to me was...
That's the Eddie Hall defense. For those of you who are not up to speed in the shitness industry, it's a monumental beef happening. Eddie Hall asserts that he is perfectly healthy at 350 pounds plus. Absolute meat mountain of a man. But because his blood work is fine, he's chilling. He can run a mile under 7 minutes, which has yet to be tested. He did just destroy in an MMA bout, lasted about 30 seconds. But still, not an indicator of health. Mass is mass. Stress on the heart. Doesn't care if it's fat or muscle.
It's so fascinating that the concept of fat shaming, which, I don't think you should hurt anybody's feelings, but I think at a certain point in time, sometimes hurting someone...
Joe Rogan has this boomer humility that I kind of appreciate. It's not nice to hurt anyone's feelings. Just like kindergarten platitudes that we need to get back to.
Feelings causes actions, and hurting someone's feelings with the truth. And you can give the truth to someone lovingly. You could say, look, I care about you. This is why I want to tell you you're a fat fuck. You really are. You're disgusting, and you need to lose weight, and you're fully addicted to food.
I think if I said that about Twitch streamers, they would ban me. You think I'd go viral on Twitter?
And you don't understand what it's doing.
X. Sorry.
Doing to your body, and you're being lied to by all these other people, like these fat doctors. There's some lady in the UK who calls herself the fat doctor. I'm like,
great
lady, you're just overwhelmed with inflammation. I could just see it looking at you. This is crazy that you're giving this advice out when you can't walk up a hill. There's no way. You're so unhealthy.
Yeah.
And this idea that...
What about sticks and stones, bucko?
Shaming people is worse than telling them the truth that's going to make them feel bad, maybe temporarily, but you could do...
If you have any fat friends, don't come at their neck. Don't come at their double chin. Have an intervention for food addiction. That's right. You're a high-calorie individual. We need to go into a deficit. Not just for me, but for you.
Do it with kindness, and then that person can make choices that will be, and then you encourage them, I'm so glad you changed your diet. I'm so glad you cut out this and cut out that, and now you're doing well, and you've decided to walk 10,000 steps a day, and you've decided to start exercising a little bit,
You've given me a lot to tackle here, so let's start with...
Let's start for the professional stuff.
The PSYOP component of healthy at any size. This is a big food narrative.
When a woman says PSYOP, that's something. I don't know what, but it is something.
This has been proven. even the friggin'
Explain big food narrative, what you mean by that.
okay, so Big Food, put simply, hired a bunch of registered dietitians to co-opt this concept of intuitive eating. And I'm dead ass serious.
Yeah.
With hashtags like derail to shame, and they paid them. And they put out all of these posts and went to all of these conventions and promoted the narrative that you can be healthy at any size. And it's just a flat out lie. It is a flat earther conversation. It is pseudoscience at its best. There's no truth behind that. There is a robust amount of data that show us being obese.
That's a BMI over 30. I mean, holy shit, at that point, you're a land whale. You're a harpoon target.
Is associated with like 170 comorbidities. This is a non-factor. It's been debunked. We know this for a fact. So when that happens, what
Imagine gravity maxing.
they're doing is essentially placating someone who already feels. Now I can attack what's going on, or address rather what's going on with an individual who is that size, and it is largely psychological. Once you are past the point of dad bod, you know what I mean? Like, I work 3 jobs, life beat me down, it's a food desert, and I'm 40 pounds overweight, and I've let myself go. This is a different animal. When you're dealing with somebody who is 50 plus pounds overweight, there is a psychological component. So the first thing we need to do is make them aware that there is a problem without question. But you can do it without shame, giving them facts of, listen, this is unhealthy. And because
You can feel their steam in summer. What?
are such a valuable individual, I want you to understand this, because only from a place of feeling truly worthy are you able to facilitate a change. You don't work out because you hate your body. You work out because you
Fork put downs are the most effective exercise. True.
love it.
Based.
So it doesn't need to be a shaming. There's no shame.
Some of the shit I put my body through during my diabolical college dirty bulk. I'm radicalized against fat people because it's an energy equation. If you build up a furnace known as your metabolism via muscle and strength training, it's near impossible to get fat. I tried. I literally tried. I was eating more calories. I can't say that on Twitch. Yes, I can. Than an entire village in Africa gets in a year, okay? I was taking it all. Pints of ice cream. Breve. Triple mochas. I was hyperthyroid maxing. It was just getting burnt through me. Burnt. Like a crisp. Didn't matter. The activity part of this equation is important. It's not just eating less. If you start moving, you'll be amazed at what your body can do.
Aim there, to be honest, Joe. I know that people claim there is, because you pointed out this vulnerability or this flaw in the person, but we all have flaws and vulnerabilities. People who are overweight simply wear them. So it's easier to judge, right?
Yeah.
So by educating them first, and then without question, I like to give people, or when I was able to do the work hands-on, that rock bottom moment, because they are overweight because it is providing them with something extraordinarily significant. And I can give you examples should you need them, but I promise you that at one time or another, people turn to addictions, in this case food, because it means their psychological survival. So put simply, the most obvious example would be a person who was incested, molested, raped,
Right.
puts on weight to desexualize. That's just one example of many.
What? Huh? Is that true, chat? Emotional eating is one thing, but to voluntarily desexualize yourself? Listen, I know many dudes who are tortamaxers, okay? I don't think that's true.
But it's easy to illustrate the point.
It's a complex argument, many such cases.
So whatever this thing is providing them is the part that...
What is the poison dart frog method? Suffering from being ridiculously good looking must get fat.
That's so hard to let go of.
Yeah.
Because unconsciously it's terrifying. And
I think some of my friends in college, I actually scared the hosts. They were like, why are you eating a pint of ice cream right now? It's like the whole thing. Like, why are you polishing off Ben and Jerry's before we go out? I need to squat 405. It's that simple.
And you got to first show them this is why we need to change. And then you got to give them that path towards change.
Guys, I can't handle the attention, so I got fat.
You got to make it harder. You got to make them feel the pain. It could be physically, it could be psychologically, but it doesn't have to be shameful, of the way they've been living, so that the work and the sacrifice associated with change is less painful than continuing the negative and destructive habits. You don't have to shame them. I know what the message seems like it is, but it really isn't.
Well, the whole term fat shaming is pretty recent, right?
Yes, very. Let's get right back to when I was just. Oh, you asked me what I lost. So,
Intuitive eating is a fascinating phrase, and the idea that this is by the same people that used to be in charge of tobacco.
Yep.
This is what's really crazy.
Yep.
These are the R.J. Reynolds and these tobacco companies bought all these.
Now, I know the word or phrase intuitive eating has been hijacked by dietitians to be like, just eat what feels right. Now, I was numb to the idea that other people have uncontrollable appetite signaling, but I, as a fully adjusted adult with high agency, can parse between foods that I probably should and shouldn't overeat. Apparently, that's a skill issue for a lot of people. So if somebody says just eat intuitively to me, I'm like, yeah, that makes sense. High protein. Get my fruits and vegetables. Probably don't overeat. Probably avoid motor oil for frying foods. I'm pretty sure I'm lactose intolerant. So maybe cut out some dairy. It's pretty intuitive. You know, looks clean to me. Try to eat organic if you can. High quality meats. No, that's not what that means. If you say intuitive eating to a fat person, it's like, I will have 14 Twinkies for breakfast. I'm going to spike my insulin so high and give myself diabetes before 11 a.m.
Fast food, processed food companies, and they use the same tactics that they use with that to push terrible foods on people.
well, they literally have.
Yeah.
I think I'll have 20 cheeseburgers.
Team of multidisciplinary scientists that work around the clock to figure out how to get people to not eat just one, and then they put it in a commercial. It's like literally in broad daylight.
Yeah.
Look what we're doing to people.
Bet you can't eat just
Just one.
Yeah.
You know, but what they're doing is they are exploiting somebody's psychology and they're hijacking their biology with this food, without question. And this is why.
Is she a Philion viewer? She just used two words I use in vernacular all the time. Psyop and hijack. Only I speak in these terminally online, military, pseudo-Jocko Willink terms.
You have seen rates of obesity skyrocket from what, 70s, when it was like 5% of the adult population was overweight or obese, to 70.
Hyperpalatable, calorically dense food. And a population that is too ignorant to learn the basics of nutrition.
4%.
Yeah.
We're all, is it quantum leap in genetics? That's a big pharma psyop of like, no. This is all genetic. You're genetically obese. Well,
Yeah.
where was the, what happened?
You're never born into a fat skeleton. As far as I'm aware, I don't think any babies are born obese. If we're talking about a child, it's 100% on the parents and their immediate environment and surroundings.
I've never seen such a quantum leap in genetics. How come we were genetically obese in the 70s? Like, what was that tipping point, if you will, that created the cascade of obesity over the last 5 decades?
Well, I don't know. If you look at ingredients, you'll notice that every single item in your supermarket has seed oils. And it's not just the fact that seed oils are unhealthy for you. It's the fact that it's a cheap, caloric pumper. That's all it's used for. Filler nonsense.
Decades. Of course, it's exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah, it's ingredients in food. It's really simple.
At that, and also how they engineer the environment, and you're surrounded by it. You can't escape it. Remember the days when you weren't allowed to have food at a bookstore? And now every friggin' bookstore has a cafe.
Starbucks
Yeah, with a
cookies in
600
it.
calorie drink. You
Yeah.
are surrounded. There's nowhere you can go right.
I mean, listen, coffee at a bookstore, I don't think that's too radical. I don't think that's what's causing people to be morbidly obese in America.
Now, where food is not omnipresent, in particular, this crappy food. And they generally
Do you know
do
how many calories I burn reading psychoanalysts and philosophers of days past? I mentally perspire. Cogs are turning. I need my snacky snack.
through government contracts and subsidies. So
Dude, it's the fucking muffins.
at your schools, your hospitals, like anywhere you go, you will find this garbage food. So even if you have that moment of willpower, which is arguably like this fleeting moment of bravado,
I feel like this is not hard. I feel like this is not hard.
if you're constantly surrounded by it, you will give in. Managing your
All you have to do is walk. Or just not eat. It turns out you just burn calories by existing. I can't think of a more solvable problem. She's not wrong. Food is everywhere you look. That doesn't mean you have to eat it, though. Shit, I'd prefer if there was food everywhere I looked, rather than no food at all. If I get hungry and need a snack, at least I know it's there.
environment is a large
I think some people are sexually attracted to food. What I think it boils down to, I think they get an erotic response from gorging. I get my dopamine in other places.
large part of helping someone be successful. It's a band-aid, right? If you're dealing with sexual abuse, for example, but
That's right, it boils down to self-respect. My body is a temple. Am I going to be a monument to ugliness? No shot. I will strive for beauty.
controlling the environment is definitely a component in helping them. You can't control the environment.
Right.
You can't control the narrative. You can't control what's in the food. And it's all by design. It's not just the crap in the food. It's how they control the
A lot
narrative.
of people just don't have impulse control. Try to overeat chicken or steak. You can't do it. It's so simple. Meat, fruit, vegetables, eggs, natural juices. Complex carbohydrates. Whole ingredients. Ideally, single ingredient foods.
around it, and how they engineer the environment, and how they systematically shut down the people that point it out as fat shamers, for example, or racists.
Yeah.
It's another big one.
Yeah, it's a big one. Or transphobes, or
Yeah.
fill in the blank. But it's fascinating to me that hospitals
I'm all of those things.
fall into this. A friend of mine was visiting his friend who has prostate cancer. And this guy is in the hospital being treated for cancer. And then he went to look at what they're feeding him in the hospital.
Ban refined sugar, salt, and flour. Nobody will be fat. First of all, you need salt. Second of all, you need sugar. Third of all, flour's not going to kill you either. It's just people drag it.
Hospital, and they were feeding him applesauce, which is just loaded with high fructose corn syrup, apple juice or orange juice, which is not even juice, it's concentrate, it's all bullshit.
Yep.
And then some kind of a fucking sandwich, which is made out of this processed.
You 100% need salt. You will die if you don't have enough salt.
Wheat bread.
Yeah,
It's
stable. It probably has in that
garbage.
meal alone 100+ chemicals. I think I'm being conservative.
Yeah. At a hospital.
It has to do with government contracts, though.
Yeah, but it's so crazy that
Not refined salt. What the fuck is refined salt?
hospitals, their diets in hospitals are co-opted.
I can't even. My kids, who I know will be watching this, so I love you guys. It's okay, but they stopped packing their lunches. And I was like, guys, why are we not packing our lunches anymore? And I would watch all the crap that I would buy go bad in the pantry. And my son ratted my daughter out. And he's like, she's eating breakfast at school. And I was like, what are you talking about? He's like, the sugar cereal, Lou's having that at school. And I was
Dude, my school lunch was preposterous. High school I went to, known for its athletic programs. Pretty competitive in many sports disciplines, right? They had soda just like on tap. Sour strips. You would look at some of these kids' plates and you'd be like, are you good? It would be like that shitty frozen pizza, grape soda, sour straws, and a carton of milk. Like, what?
what? What are you talking about? Even my kids who know better, it's.
But isn't that a rebellion against mom, though? Which kids definitely do. Like, my youngest.
They were just fucking serving us prison food. And then they would yell at you if you didn't pay attention, but you're in a fucking coma because your gut microbiome is World War III.
Daughter, she jokes around about, she's like, ooh, seed oils. I love seed oils. She'll have salad dressing with seed oil, and she, like, mocks me. I'm like, okay, you eat whatever you want, but just know what it is.
I honestly think the kids know what it is. And I try to give them enough freedom now at these ages, 13 and 15, to make some of their own decisions. So not everything is a pushback, but I truly think there is an addictive component.
Oh, for sure.
And she just, it's like, I'm so good at home. And I don't mean to associate, not good, but I eat well at home. Let's put it that way. And, just at school. I'm just going to do this at school. And the problem, obviously, is when she goes off to college, I won't be able to control the environment at home. And I'm like, honey, okay, hold on. There's forgive me, there's a 20-year-old influencer.
Philion. Hot, long, flowing, warrior cast hair. 3 eyes.
Bad Baby, I think.
Ah.
Joe, she
I know
saw
that
this.
is.
Okay, she saw this girl.
That's the
on
lady from Dr. Phil.
Yes!
Catch Me Outside.
Catch Me Outside. So she saw this girl, I think when she was like 9, and has followed Bad Baby. Bad Baby now has cancer.
What?
I believe so. And
For real?
according
Isn't she
to
like
my
20?
daughter, exactly the point, though. That's exactly the point. And so now I can say to my kids, this isn't just mom's generation, which, how come, there's something else to look at. My mom is 76. None of the public figures in her generation got cancer. You didn't see Susan Sarandon or Sigourney Weaver or Meryl Streep. None of them got cancer. But in my generation, it's like Maria Menounos, Christina Applegate, something's going on with Angelina Jolie, Kate Middleton. In my generation, the canary is dead in the coal mine. It's not even a question of the negative impact. If we're not looking at statistics, if we're just looking...
Who has blood cancer? Bad Baby has cancer. Huh.
From an observational perspective, it's in the news every single day.
So she's making the point that we are chronically ill in some capacity compared to older generations.
Someone's dealing with cancer. Olivia Munn. Now you're seeing 20-year-olds deal with this. And I was able to point to that to my daughter and say, this is the shit that I am talking about. She's 5 years older than you.
What does that lady have?
I feel like that's a logical fallacy. That can't... This is not holding up in the court of the High Council. But she's hot. So I'll take her word for it. See how physiognomy works, chat?
Does it say?
Yeah, she's claimed that she's got a form of leukemia, I believe. But people, yeah.
They debate, they doubt her?
Yeah, for sure, they doubt her. I
Well,
don't know. That
she's a little bit kooky, right?
Sure.
There's still, you still
don't know,
can
though.
point to the fact, even if it's not Bad Baby, who may be lying, I'm
I
not
like
sure.
how you're using that name, Bad Baby.
Is it Bad Baby? Bad, what the? I
So
said
it's
Bad
a
Bunny the
yo-
other day, and my kids are like, no.
Improvements in measurement. Yeah, perhaps detection techniques have improved. For sure. I mean, there's a lot of reasons.
That's the rapper.
She says she insisted she'd been cleared for surgery. She has no regrets about her cosmetic tweaks. What does a cosmetic tweak have to do with leukemia?
Don't know.
I think people are.
They're
just
not going to
bringing
perform
it up.
plastic surgery on a cancer patient. What? Is she's getting plastic surgery? Is it? What is this article about? Go
I don't
scroll
know,
up.
look at the
About the
chronic
backlash.
Yes, Joe, she got a BBL.
myeloid leukemia piece, because
about
that's
the
the part I
backlash
know
of it.
about.
She breaks silence on claims she lied about having cancer after being slammed for vaping.
Oh God, did
The
she lie
rapper.
about
That's.
it?
I was just showing you. That's.
Go
what-
go back up.
I don't know.
Because I
It
thought
says
she had like a wig.
Go
My
back up,
daughter said
please.
she lost her
trying.
hair.
21 says currently battling chronic.
Two boomers reading tabloid news articles. Can it get any sloppier?
How do you say that? Myeloid leukemia.
Yeah.
Criticized for getting cosmetic surgery while battling disease, which is pretty crazy. Is that really true?
That's the part that.
She underwent plastic surgery and challenged rival Alabama Barker to a physical fight,
See, that's
all
right.
while battling leukemia.
Apparently, Alabama Barker did not show up for that fight because my daughter was very disappointed by that.
What?
It's like Joe Rogan can't turn his neck anymore, so he moves his entire body.
They were gonna meet somewhere
They're
in
supposed to
actual
meet,
fight.
I think, in Calabasas and throw down.
Oh boy, the Calabasas throwdown,
That's
the
right.
classic.
Of
You know, it used
course.
to be an old West shootout. Now it's a Calabasas throwdown
I'm sure there's
between
hair pulling and all kinds of
influencers.
stuff. But what I
boy.
can tell you with certainty is that the rate of early onset cancer diagnosis in people 18 to 49 has gone up 79% over the past 2 decades. So if in fact Bad Baby is being untruthful and deceitful, those statistics are real.
Here at Third Eye Global, we have a simple rule. Any situation can be plotted alongst the cope-cringe continuum, and it can be rectified and solved by a skill issue.